Hey everybody, it's Master Gallengeist here, bringing you my review of Captain America Symbol of Truth issue 12. Yeah, there we go. And I really enjoyed this one, and this is part 2 of Cold War going on, so we kind of pretty much pick off where the last issue ended, and this cover pretty much covers it pretty much. We got our group together, they're dealing with some crazy shit going on in Alaska, and we just kind of figure out what's going on. So, we see that pretty much Sam's pretty much talking to the rest of them and saying that, like, whatever Bucky's play is, he broke a war criminal out of prison, and there's no justification for that, as well as having an army of extra dimensional monsters going on. So it's like, yeah, he's got to go down. And now, granted, that is just a really cool shot there. I just really like the art with that. But we see that we've got all the people trying to be tithed with the Dimension Z frocks going on. So Misty's like, how about we just kind of like deal with what's in front of us and behind us? And they're kind of both still kind of talking about what's kind of going on. Steve, of course, being like, I gotta try and do stuff. Like, Bucky's off the rails, but I had to try and get through to him. And Steve and Sam's like, you weren't Mahonda, Steve. You couldn't possibly know what White Wolf did over there, what he's like. And then, of course, Misty and Sharon are just like, let's go. And Misty's like, let's go, Cap. You know what I mean. And Sharon just kind of laughs it off. And then we pretty much see the frocks and everything in their White Wolf and kind of Winter Soldier kind of garb. And they decide to, like, table this for now and just get to it. As Sam flies and helps throw Steve at stuff. He's like, I gotta say, Sam, they're a bit taller than I remember. It's like, yeah, they kind of are. Yeah, and then we see Misty and Sharon dealing with their group, and Misty like, I kind of liked it when they were fighting each other. The power and the money must be having quite the conversation in their little pie in the sky. Either way, there's still too many of them for us. There's been nothing but open tundra so far. Only a matter of time before the fight reaches a town or city. Yeah, strange that it hasn't already. Last time I was here, there were people. So it's like, okay, what's going on with that? We do get the answer in this issue. So we pretty much get the frogs pretty much yelling their usual kind of shtick, and Sam being like, this is kind of familiar. Two longtime friends and heroes joined once again in battle against a common foe? No, man. Pretty sure this is how we took apart that Zola rocket, as we get some really good action scenes in this issue, which is really nice. Always awesome to see. And it's like, good times, as he pretty much throws Steve in a way that pretty much takes out a good group of people. And then Misty pretty much tries to get a sit rep on them where Steve is. They're both kind of together. And of course, they want to regroup to assess everything, but then we hear a crack. Sharon falls down first into this kind of like mine shaft thing. And then we see Misty going down as well. And then we learn that they're in trouble, and Steve's like, what the hell's going on with Sharon? Can you get these guys off my back? Say no more. As we then see Sam utilizing some crazy... utilizing his wings friggin' awesomely. Fucking awesomely. And that's the thing. I really like that they utilize Sam's different kind of stuff and abilities so well in this series. Because I love the look of his wings here, and then we see him just utilizing and making, like, frickin' whirlwinds and stuff, blasting back the frocks like that. Man. And then, of course, Steve blasts down to go after Sharon, and let's see, Sam follows him as the frocks are like, seal them in. And then, of course, Sam's like, the mine shaft's collapsing, as we see, of course, Steve do the superhero landing pose with the crash. I think it's the landing pose. And then, oh yeah, because everything's falling down, Sam gets him and everything. Of course, Steve thanks him. And then he reunites with Sharon, and we learn that all the people that were usually in the towns, like, they fought until their town got wiped out by whatever those guys are, then we found shelter in this old mining tunnel. And we had the exit just blocked. It's like, God, that's not good. So it's good that the people are at least alive, though granted they are now in a kind of worse kind of position. Though we do learn from one of the people in there that there are other kind of like escape tunnels for the other side of the mountain. And of course, Sam apologizes for their losses. We're going to do everything to make sure. And Steve's like, listen, the only way this stops is if we go through one of those portals. We have to go to Dimension Z. And Sam's thinking it's like getting Ian back is not our top priority right now. And Steve's like, no, the frogs came through the portals that lead back to Dimension Z. You said it yourself. White Wolf brought them to Mohanda the same way. For all we know, there could be portals to Dimension Z opening up all over the world. Nowhere is safe until we go there and fix this. And Steve's right. I mean, granted, the byproduct would be to go and help Ian, but these portals can move their forces anywhere they wish. They need to stop that as soon as possible. And of course, we then see him stop and say that, like, Ian's his son, as we see in Zolandia, Dimension Z, with Ian in his, like, old room with, like, all this Avengers stuff. Bucky, we then see somebody talking to him saying that Steve you loved Steve, Ian. Do you feel the same way for him now? And Ian's like, what are you trying to do, Bucky? Make me feel like a kid again? This is kind of like a sick joke. And then asking if he feels anything for this place. Like if he didn't feel like an exile. He's like, no, I didn't. And then he's like, oh, you're eager to forget this place then. Never really thought about it. Calling myself Nomad wasn't an accident. Where's home for you? How about where you were born? Where do you go to feel like you belong, to feel loved? Where do you go to feel like you're not an exile anymore? Asking that pointedly to Bucky, and of course he's like, that's what I thought. What if home is where you go to find your purpose? And then Ian's like, what do you mean? Right now, this place where you were born, where you lived so much of your childhood, is a hellscape, filled with monsters your father Zola has, in his absence, left to rot, to putrefy. What if you could fix it? Be for this place what it truly needs. Yeah? Then what's White Wolf doing here? Do you trust me? It's like, huh. Bucky evidently is playing some different kind of games. It's like, okay, he recognizes that the Frogs and the things left in Dimension Z were left. And if Ian could fix that, would he attempt to do that? It's like, huh, interesting. As we see Bucky's doing different kind of things, like we know he's not leaving White Wolf to this, so he has other plans specifically linked up with Ian. Well, we try and see that, like, Bucky is leaving, but then he hears some noises, like, what the hell? And we see, hello, Bucky, you're going to tell me everything. If you hold back, and I will be able to tell if you're holding back, I will slit your throat, as Black Widow has him. It's like, god damn, there you go, Black Widow. So we'll see how that kind of works out, and what she learns, and what kind of comes from that. So we're pretty at a good kind of clip here. We see back here, we've gotten the Road to Cold War. We got the Alpha. We got this one. We've got Sentinel of Liberty, Sentinel of Liberty issue 12, Symbol of Truth 13, Sentinel of Liberty 13, and then the Cold War Omega, and then we're done. And it's like, damn, it feels like it just started, but it's like, we'll have to see how this kind of works out. It was nice to see our main group working through and battling through the forces and coming to their understandings of the biggest kind of issue is the utilization of Dimension Z portals and being able to use the Frogs and put them at any kind of point in time. We have to protect these people, and the best way to do that is to go into Dimension Z and face that head on and figure that kind of thing out. And I agree with that on Steve. Now, granted, I can definitely see Sam being like, you're focusing too much on Ian, but Ian does factor into that. He needs to be helped. But Steve is more like, we need to stop these portals opening up everywhere. We need to get that controlled and contained. Otherwise, our enemy can go at anywhere, strike at any point, and be able to disappear at any point as well. That's what we need to kind of deal with. And like, yeah. And I think he's able to communicate that with Sam. So I can't wait to see what kind of goes on next in here. Black Widow getting a hold and pretty much having Bucky on the back foot like that was pretty interesting and awesome to see. So we'll have to see how that kind of works out with Bucky's plans, how he changes his plans, and what Black Widow learns of his motivations and everything. Because even from this, we know that he doesn't trust White Wolf, even when he broke him out in the Alpha. We'll have to see what his whole plan is and what his contingencies are to deal with White Wolf, and I can't wait to see that. So, those are my opinions on the issue. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also, like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.